by Daniel Kirk. Sam was a library mouse. His home was in a little hole in the wall behind the children's reference books, and he thought that life was very good. Every day when the library was full of people walking up and down the aisles, studying, checking out books, and working on the computers, Sam was curled up in his hole, sound asleep. Every night when people went home and the room was dark and quiet, the library belonged to Sam. And every night, Sam read. He read and read. He read picture books and chapter books. He read biographies. He read poems. He read football books and cookbooks, ghost stories, and mysteries by the dozen. Sam's mind was filled with facts and information and images of faraway places. His imagination brimmed over with wonder and fantasy. One night, Sam decided it was time for him to write his own book. Sam folded over some little squares of paper he took from the librarian's desk. Then he found a pencil that had rolled underneath a shelf, and he began to write. Write what you know, Sam had read in a book about writing. So Sam wrote about being a mouse. He drew the pictures for his book by posing in his little mirror and sketching what he saw. Sam worked very, very hard, and finally his first book was done. He called it Squeak, a Mouse's Life, and he wrote on the cover, words and pictures by Sam. He went to the biography section of the library, and he tucked his first book onto the shelf. Then he went back to his little hole in the wall, and he waited. The next afternoon, sunlight streamed through in the library windows. A little girl whose teacher had sent her to the library to do a book report found Sam's book. "What is this?" she asked the librarian.
"I've never seen anything like this before."
She put Squeak a Mouse's Life on her desk, and later she showed it to the other librarians. Sam, the next night, decided to write another book. It was called The Lonely Cheese, and working on the book made him feel very hungry. It was a good thing that he always found so many crumbles to eat by the trash basket in the hallway. When he had finished illustrations, Sam scurried to the picture book section and placed his book on the shelf. Then he went back to his little hole in the wall and he waited. The next morning, sunlight streamed in through the library windows. A little boy who was looking for a big book about trucks found Sam's book. "What is this?" he asked the librarian.
"It's another book by Sam." "Just who is this Sam?"
She put the book of The Lonely Cheese on her desk, and later she showed it to the children at story time. The next night, Sam decided to write a chapter book. The Mystery of the Mansion is what Sam called it. It gave Sam goosebumps when he wrote down the scary parts. The full moon was shining down through the windows of the darkened library when Sam crept over to the mystery section and placed his book on the shelf. Then he went back to the hole in the wall and he waited. The next day, sunlight streamed in through the library windows. "What's this?" asked the teenager who was looking for a good, creepy book to read before bed.
"We've got to find out who this Sam is." "I know. I'll leave a note on my desk and ask him if we can meet him."
She put the Mystery of Mouse Mansion on her desk, and later she showed it to a writing class that came in after school. That night, Sam found the note. "Dear Sam, all of us at the library have been enjoying your books immensely. We are all wondering who this mysterious Sam really is. Whoever you are, you certainly have a lot of talent. Not everyone has it in them to write even one book, let alone 3.
We think it would be fun to have a Meet the Author Day with you as our special guest. They want to meet me. The children would love to hear you read your books and share some of your secrets for writing. Yours truly, Mrs. Forrester, Head Librarian.
Sam felt very nervous. He was happy that the children at the library liked his books, and he was flattered that they wanted to meet him. But mice, as a rule, are very shy when it comes to meeting people. Sam could not understand why the children thought that writing and making up stories was so hard. If only they would try, they might find out that writing is really lots of fun. Sam had an idea. He went to the desk and got some supplies. All night long he wrote and drew and snipped and folded and stapled his little rectangles of paper into mouse-sized books. He sharpened a pile of pencils too. Then he built a surprise to show the students. In the morning, when the librarian opened up the children's room, she was the first to see Sam's display.
What is this?
There sat a tissue box with a pair of pencils taped to the sides of the banner, stretched across the top. It read, "Meet the Author." The librarian bent over and looked in. "Oh," she said.
Can you come help me? Can you look in there and tell me, who do you see? Who do you see in the box?
Who's in it?
Who's in there? No, who do you see? That's right.
Sam thinks that all you kids can be authors too. All that day, for many more thereafter, people came to see the display of Meet the Author. Soon there was a full shelf full of books written and illustrated by students who had never written a book before. Sam was a library mouse. His home was in a little hole in the wall behind the children's reference books. All night, Sam sat in his hole thinking and thinking about the next story he would write. There were so many stories to tell. Aha, he thought, I'll just have to write one of each. Sam picked up his pencil and he got to work. The end.
I didn't see. I didn't see. Yeah, me too. We didn't see it.